Hey guys, so today I'm going to talk to you about the difference between botulinum toxin, or otherwise known as Botox, and that's primarily for anti-wrinkle injections, versus dermal fillers, and the key differences between them when we use each one and what it is we're trying to achieve by using each one. So starting off with anti-wrinkle injections, these ones are typically used to treat more so fine lines and wrinkles in the upper third of the face, so the frown area, the forehead, around the eyes. It can also be used to treat the neck to help improve fine lines and wrinkles there. And then actually we often use it to almost change the shape of someone's face by slimming down the jawline, particularly from the front angle view. So if someone wanted to slim down their jawline from the front plane, we can use the anti-wrinkle injections to relax those muscles too. And other than that, there are other little tweaks that we can do by manipulating muscles, for example, lifting a brow, dropping down a gummy smile, targeting some of the lines and wrinkles in someone's nose, particularly in someone's chin as well, or even upturning the corner of someone's mouth. So with this treatment, it specifically targets the muscle, and after we mix the botulinum toxin with saline, it's basically got a feeling to it almost a little bit like water. So when we inject it in, it's a bit like water, and it specifically targets the receptors of the muscle. So what people think this is almost like a frozen look where you completely paralyze or freeze a muscle. That isn't the case at all. Of course, within the industry, it's always important to have a detailed consultation to understand the exact needs and requirements of any patient. But there's always a spectrum, because one end of the spectrum can be frozen or minimal movement, but then the other end of the spectrum is going to be more of a natural looking result where you can soften a muscle, so you can target specifically fine lines and wrinkles or reducing them whilst keeping expression. So the key take-home message with this is, with the anti-wrinkle injections, what we're trying to do is relax muscles, and that can either be to target fine lines and wrinkles or to tweak little parts of the way that the face shape sits based on tweaking the muscle and the resting tone of the muscle. With dermal fillers, however, it's a bit different. So with dermal fillers, you can think of it almost as a gel-like substance, almost a little bit like Play-Doh, depending on how we're going to use it. So you've got certain fillers which are quite thick, and these are the ones that go deeper down if we want to either create volume or create structures, or more commonly if we just want to restore structures that are losing a bit of volume. So we use these ones typically deep down on the bone or deep down in the deep vat, more so to actually add volume and add a structure. Then there are different types of dermal filler that we can use a bit more superficially or near the skin. So these ones are a bit more mobile, so the way that they stretch and relax with you is conducive to natural expression. So when you laugh and when you smile, they laugh and smile with you, and it doesn't look like something that's just stuck on and strange looking. But then again, that comes down to the quality of dermal filler, which is really important. Within the UK in particular, there's a huge variety of dermal fillers that exist. And like anything in life, you've got good ones and you've got bad ones. So the good ones are going to be the ones that integrate beautifully, that have a very natural look afterwards, last for a long time. They're evidence-based from medical pharmacies with a lot of clinical trials behind them. And then by the same token, you've got the bad ones that are going to offer you the complete opposite experience. So these are the ones that might migrate, or they might lump and bump. And these are the ones that, believe it or not, they've got probably less medical evidence than you would hope or expect to see. So another thing to factor in is with anti-wrinkle injections, because they primarily focus on the muscle, it lasts about 3 to 6 months depending on the type of treatment that you're doing. For example, with the upper face, because we're very expressive there, we typically expect longevity of 3 to 4 months compared to the neck or the jawline, where in some patients it can last more like 3 to 6 months, which is great. With regards to dermal fillers, again, depending on what area we're trying to treat, if it's going to be something mobile like the lip, we might get, let's say, 12 months using a really high quality dermal filler, which is good. But if we're going to be targeting something more like a deep restoration on the bone, where we can use something a little bit thicker, we're looking at something that's going to be a bit closer to 22 months to 2 years, which would be a great longevity for that treatment. For patients at least, it comes down to patient education and patient research, because I think it's really important for every single patient to really try and look into and understand as much as possible with any procedures within the aesthetic field, because the biggest take-home message to any patient is going to be, the more research you do and the more you understand about any procedure, the happier you're always going to be. Because if something gets well explained to you and you read up about it and you've had time to think about it and process it and digest it all, and you really understand what it is you're trying to achieve, then you're more likely going to get a happy outcome, which is what you want to actually achieve in the end. So all things considered, the most important thing is research and read everything, and understand the treatment plan that you're wanting to go ahead with and how it can be achieved. Thank you.